Now, for every team that really delayed to obviously make their signings before Man City went ahead to accomplish the deal of Elliot Anderson, you are obviously going to face it rough. I tell you, Arsenal have been told the price ceiling of the Bruno Guimarães transfer deal. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on the stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Guys, it's really getting tough. I tell you, getting very, very tough for every club in there for you that had not gone ahead to sign a player before the transfer of Elliot Anderson. Because, you know, when something has not gone ahead to happen in reality, obviously, you have no reason of thinking that it can happen. You need to be a superhero to obviously be holding such a belief. But guess what? The club of Arsenal now knows exactly what it is to obviously not going in for their targets before the Elliot Anderson deal. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani. Heavily smash like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And remember, we are powered by Think Landscaping. Think Landscaping are dealers in designing, planning and transforming your outdoor spaces in there for you. And if at all you're really one of those that has gone ahead obviously coming through and really put in a very huge shift in wanting to transform, design and plan your outdoor space all garden, this is the #1 portal for you, the company that will give you what you thought is magic, all what you thought is rocket science, in reality, it is Think Landscaping in here for you. So please go ahead and call them on those numbers and you will thank me later. I tell you, go ahead and call those numbers and you'll thank me later. Let's obviously get down into this beautiful publication in there for you that's been put out by Team Talk in there for you. Now, Team Talk has told us the following, that Newcastle have told Arsenal that any deal for Bruno Guimarães will require around a fee of £100 million. The Gunners had hoped to land the Brazilian international for a package closer to £60 million. The Magpies remain determined to keep their captain after already losing Anthony Gordon and Sandro Tonali. Now, what is on the stake? The stake is £100 million. Remember, before we saw the deal of Elliot Anderson happening, I think at 60, 70, one would get the deal of Bruno Guimarães done and dusted because he's 28 years of age and he's really left with 3 years on his contract and they would have gone ahead to be making some huge profit in there for you. But Bruno Guimarães and Sandro Tonali are by far better players than Elliot Anderson. I've spoken this and I can continue to say this. Bruno Guimarães is a better player than Elliot Anderson. That is it. Sandro Tonali is a better player than Elliot Anderson. Now, if you're Newcastle and you are the custodian of those two players, that is Sandro Tonali and Bruno Guimarães, and you are seeing City put in a bid of £100 million, £105 million turned down, you understand, then £120 million bid turned down by Nottingham Forest, what crosses your mind that maybe I've been underpricing my players? Not so? I've been underpricing my players. So what do I go ahead to do? What I go ahead to do is simple, right? Go ahead and really put in a very, very huge shift. And what is that huge shift? The huge shift is simple. Do the needful and obviously call in for £100 million. Looks like £100 million has been laid as the price floor, not even ceiling, for any good player. You know, Declan Rice, £105 million transfer. This other guy, known as Moise Caicedo, 116. Enzo Fernandez, 105. Alexandra Isak, 120. Elliot Anderson, 116. So, Jack Grealish, 100 million pounds. So, 100 million pounds is becoming a normal figure for any player. And obviously, Newcastle have enough evidence to obviously call out for 100 million pounds for Bruno Guimarães because they sold Sandro Tonali, his counterpart, for 100 million pounds. And they really believe that because they bought him for like 45 million pounds, they get a profit of 55 million pounds for selling him, and they can obviously reinforce their squad. By the way, they can use the 60 million pounds that they used to buy Sandro Tonali from AC Milan because they got it back after they really landed a 100 million pound deal that saw them make a profit of like 40 million pounds, and even get the 40 of this guy to top it to make it 100, and obviously see to it that they get into all three midfielders. Because right now in the market, I know Newcastle have lost Mazambi for 50 million, has lost Mazambi to Aston Villa, 50 million pounds, and they never wanted to pay the amount of money. So they are looking out for bargains in there for you. And their recruitment team cannot be underlooked because they bring in players and they turn them into world-class players. You understand? So that is Newcastle for you. And even if they spend 60 million pounds on a player, they'll be like, this player has a potential to make us a profit of 100, and so a potential of times 2 the amount of money we bought him in there for you. You know, because no one thought that Sandro Tonali, 3-4 years later, he could go for 120 million euros. Yeah, they bought him for 70, making a profit of 50 million euros or like 40 million pounds. So they are on track. Now, the question is, will Arsenal go ahead and dance to the tone or to the tunes of this team known as Newcastle? Newcastle have called in for 100 million pounds for Bruno Guimarães. Arsenal want Bruno Guimarães badly. They've agreed personal terms. Everything is on course. The players communicated to Newcastle that I would want to obviously go to Newcastle. But the transfer request he put in through was really very, very, very friendly, I tell you. So that is all about a man known as Bruno Guimarães in there for you. So this guy wants to join Arsenal and he wants his future resolved as soon as possible. And Newcastle are a team that you won't come up and obviously say, we'll bully it. We'll be like, okay, let's not see the player really put in a very huge shift by not signing for you and see what will happen. You cannot threaten them. Ask Liverpool. Liverpool threatened Newcastle not until Liverpool went ahead to make a bid of 120 million pounds that Newcastle called in for. So if Newcastle have called in for 100 million pounds, I tell you, they mean it and they mean business. They would want a team to pay that much to get in this guy. That's why I've always told you that Arsenal is going to spend 300 million pounds on 3 players. Bruno Guimarães, though it was 90, I knew it would reach 100. And in that deal, I tell you, it will be 90 million pounds guaranteed and 10 million pounds of add-ons. Then Morgan Rogers, between 100 and 130. Then Julian Alvarez, between 100 and 120 million pounds. So those 3 deals, Arsenal want them badly. But they are all 100 million pound deals plus. So we wait and see. Arsenal first put in a bid of 55 million pounds. It got rejected. They went ahead to put in a bid of 65 million pounds. It got rejected. And now they're in talks with Newcastle. And Newcastle have told them, we want 100 million pounds, non-negotiable. What will Arsenal do? What will Arsenal do? You understand? That is the big question. So I want to see you guys flock into the comment section. Come out and tell us, should Arsenal pay 100 million pounds for Bruno Guimarães? Remember, teams that want to retain trophies and really win trophies, they should spend this big in the market. Because Arsenal is beyond that level of really spending peanuts on the player. You get? I tell you, they have to spend because they've gone ahead to make the money and now they have to show ambitions of champions. Because even Sir Alex Ferguson, to maintain his status of being the best manager in the Premier League and winning very many trophies, he obviously had to spend a lot of money. You can all agree with me. You get? Go ahead and really see how much a pound was. Pound. Let's look at a pound rate. Pound rate in 2003. The pound rate. The pound rate exchange in 2003. Now, if Ronaldo came in through close to 20 million pounds, 12 million pounds plus 8 million pounds of add-ons, you can really understand. Wayne Rooney, was it 25? Ruud van Nistelrooy, Michael Carrick, those players were signed for a huge amount of money. Right now, it will be 100 million pounds because of the inflation, 2-3 decades later. You understand? So, I'm telling you this. To maintain what Arsenal achieved last season, they have to break the bank and bring in these players, because that status quo to be maintained and not to be broken, they need to obviously strengthen their squad, because it is Arsenal right now. We are not talking about Arsenal who are really run-ups, Arsenal who are really competitors. We are talking about Arsenal who are really winners, and they should increase their appetite, because last season they never found it easy on teams, because teams played a low block. That's why you saw to it that they went ahead to obviously improvise and really scored very many goals from corners. But if you add Julian Alvarez, Bruno Guimarães, Christos Zolis, and the other player called Morgan Rogers, I think you've gone ahead to add more quality to your attack that you can open up any team provided it's backing the bus. Bruno Guimarães is good at that, opening up those tight defenses. You can talk about Morgan Rogers, he can also do that. Julian Alvarez, what a player, and he can score from anywhere. Set piece specialist in there for you. So all I want to let you know that Arsenal have to pay 100 million pounds. Newcastle is not a team that you can obviously go ahead and obviously bogey in there for you. So let's wait and see how things really pan out. But that's all about Bruno Guimarães' transfer ceiling set. It's 100 million pounds. And the question is over to you. Do you think Bruno Guimarães is worth 100 million pounds? That is the huge question for you. Now, one of the players who is going to be playing in the final as Cristiano Romero. Looks like Spurs are done with him, and Fabrizio Romano have come up and obviously told us something. They've told us that Inter Milan have been offered a chance to sign Tottenham defender Cristiano Romero this summer. The Argentine centre-back is expected to leave Spurs before the end of the transfer window. Barcelona are also interested, although the financial package involved could complicate any deal. Now, Cristiano Romero. I've been on record. In 2021, when Man United was trying to get in a player called Rafael Varane, I was like, let's get in Cristiano Romero. He was playing for Atalanta way back. My points were clear. He was young. He was a ball-playing centre-back. He was a hard tackler, good game reader. He was fast in there for you, and you saw to it that when he came in through at Spurs and partnered up with Van der Ven, you've gone ahead to see them form one of the best centre-back pairings in there for you. I've gone ahead to see people saying that they are lazy. Who went ahead to make that statement? I think it was Gary Neville, that him and Lisandro Martinez are the laziest centre-back. I think I'm going to be looking out for that and obviously fronting it on the screen and see it. And I was like, do these people know where the ball is? I tell you, Cristiano Romero can compete to start in any centre-back. I've not said he can start, but he can compete, to start for any club in the world. I tell you. That's why Barcelona is in for him. United is linked to the player. Inter Milan wants to sign the player. Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, all those wanted to sign the player. So, I tell you, he's a very good defender. Good defender. And I think he's playing for a team that is not a top team. But when you play for a team like Barcelona, Manchester United, Arsenal, Real Madrid, Man City, Liverpool, name it, you spend most of the time with the ball and you're not being attacked. Unless when you're playing big teams that obviously can really take over the day for you. But Christian Romero is a very good defender. But remember, he fell out with Dizabi. Nosuna Dizabi came in through as the manager of Spurs. To an extent that he was found as the captain of the team. As Spurs was playing its last game, fighting for survival in the Premier League, he boarded and missed out on the game and went ahead to see the biggest derby in Argentina. You understand? So that really speaks volumes onto what kind of player he is. You get? So I tell you, the guy is really good. The guy is that good. And I believe he would have gone ahead to form a very good partnership with the people he would have gone ahead to find throughout Man United. But United didn't go all well. And they brought in Varane. And years later, Varane goes as a free agent. And this guy really is still here. And Spurs obviously going to make some huge money out of him. Those Spurs have already gone ahead to bring their replacements. Now, Gary Neville called this guy lazy. And he was like, to me, they are not a very good central defense. And I'm like, who doesn't respect Lisandro Martinez in his central defense? What he puts out. And this is where I don't really understand when some people obviously putting out their thoughts. Because to me, Christian Romero and Lisandro Martinez have formed one of the best centre-backs in what we call the World Cup. The problem is they are not shielded enough. That's it, by their midfield. Their midfield is a little bit porous, and their full-backs, I tell you, they are not all that solid. So their defensive mechanism really has a problem, but you cannot really refer that to these players. But they've gone ahead to do their level best. And one thing people forget about these lads is that they've been decisive into Argentina reaching the World Cup final, right? They've been decisive into reaching what we call the World Cup final, you know? I tell you, they've done their level best. That is it. They've done their level best because remember the game of Cape Verde. Lisandro Martinez puts in an assist for Lionel Messi. Cape Verde leveled. Lisandro Martinez, first half of extra time, scores a goal, right? And that goal got leveled again by that flying winger of Cape Verde. Guess who puts in action to score the third goal, though it was an own goal? It was none other than Christian Romero, right? Let's go to the game of Egypt. Messi pulling one back when it was 2-0. Sorry, Christian Romero pulled one back when it was 2-1. Messi leveled, and we saw to it that this guy, known as, what's his name? Enzo Fernandez scoring a very beautiful header to make it 3-2. After making it 3-2, that was the round of 16. They saw themselves come to the quarterfinals. They played Switzerland in there for you, and they went to the semi-finals and really played against England. That is it. So, they've been big contributors. How they play, how they come under pressure in that game of England. You saw Christian Romero was pressed, I think, by Jude Bellingham and Anthony Gordon. You saw that double pass from him, you know. The guy was really very magnificent in there for you. Gary Neville said, with the centre-back, he was talking about Argentina, I can't see us not scoring at least 2 goals. We are faster, quicker, we've got a better squad. He said all this. He said all this when the game had not been played. And the game went ahead to be played. And England was knocked out. Lisandro Martinez, after the game, said, we are used to people talking about us. They like talking about us and we don't say anything back. We just answer on the pitch with respect. And I think the best response from the Argentine defenders or defense pairing was the best. Not so? Christian Romero said, I just hope when I retire, I'll not be this stupid. That's what he said. And that criticism for me is really, I really understand what Gary Neville is really doing. But Gary Neville is this kind of person who won't obviously look back again. So, on Sky, he came up and really said the following to them. So, I like the way Gary Neville doesn't give up. Let's say he's the legend of the game, and he said, just to add extra words to what I said, Lisandro Martinez and Romero give goals away. They've conceded 6 in 4 knockout matches. Those two should hug Messi every single day because he's had to pull them out of the mire when they conceded 2 against Egypt, 2 against Cape Verde, and 1 against England. But I did go on to say they are incredible, and their force of nature of how they go and win the game for their country. They go for the sublime they go from sublime to ridiculous. They go and win every attacking header in the penalty box and sometimes in the defensive box. So now, I think he has brought it back. I think for me, that was okay. That was okay. Sometimes in this business that we do, right? Do you know what happens? People don't obviously get the detail of the story. But he has gone ahead to talk about the bad they are doing because they're conceding very many goals. But I know why Argentina concedes very many goals. Now, if teams are conceding very many goals, that doesn't mean their defense is bad. But to me, I believe that their midfield, when the manager plays Paredes as a single sitting pivot, then Enzo Fernandez, then McAllister, and maybe Rodrigo de Paul ahead of them in a 4-1-3-2 system, I think it leaves the defense exposed in there for you. But Neville is saying all that. But one thing you cannot argue with the central defense is that their team is through, and they fought hard to see their team going in through. And I tell you, they've defended for their lives. That is it. So guys, thank you very much for checking through. Tell me your thoughts about Guimarães to Arsenal transfer ceiling set. Transfer price. Very shocking. £100 million, all walk away from this guy. Would you want Arsenal to pay that amount of money? One. Secondly, Inter Milan are interested in Christian Romero because they might lose Bastoni, right? They might lose Bastoni in there for you. So, what do you think about it? All that and more into the comment section below. Rokani David is my name. First video of the day. More videos are coming in through. Pre-season is back today. Man United opening up with Wrexham today at 18 hours at the United Matters channel. The match preview is already there. I don't know what your thoughts are about it, but keep it what it is. And continue to subscribe because we want to hit 30,000 subscribers away. And we are 400 subscribers away. So please subscribe. I want us to hit 29,600 as we narrow this down. Bye-bye.